This terrace hasn't been properly cleaned for months. Today I'm testing whether the Nilfisk Core 150 can make it look almost new again. By the end of this video you will see the results, the pros, the cons, and whether I think it's worth buying. This is the Nilfisk Core 150. It delivers up to 150 bar of pressure, has a 2000 watt motor, a metal pump, a 10 meter Ultraflex high pressure hose, and a 5 meter power cable. It weighs approximately 11 kilograms, which I think is a very practical weight. It's heavy enough to feel solid and stable, but light enough that I can easily lift it with one hand using the rear carrying handle. One thing I immediately liked when I bought it is how compact it is. The handle folds down neatly, everything stores on the machine, and it doesn't take up much space in my garage. For most homeowners, storage space matters, and this is one of the easiest pressure washers I've owned to put away. Now let's talk about one of my favorite features, adjustable power. A lot of pressure washers only focus on maximum pressure, but in reality, maximum pressure isn't always what you want. The power control system allows you to adjust the pressure depending on the surface you're cleaning. For example, these sink planters have painted surfaces. If I hit them with full pressure, the water can remove bits of paint and damage the finish. The same goes for delicate wood, painted surfaces, garden furniture, or other sensitive materials. Being able to dial down the pressure is genuinely useful and gives you much more confidence when cleaning around the garden. The machine comes with useful nozzles, and I regularly switch between them depending on the job I do. For delicate surfaces, I use gentle nozzle. For patio tiles and tougher cleaning tasks, I switch to the rough nozzle. Another thing I really appreciate is the hose. It's incredibly flexible and easy to work with. Anyone who has used a stiff pressure washer hose knows how annoying it can be when it constantly twists and fights against you. This one is much easier to manage. And speaking of twisting, I also like the rotating connection. When you insert the water hose, it can rotate freely rather than getting stuck. It makes a difference during longer cleaning sessions. For my setup, I use an additional The Fit Life expandable garden hose, which I linked in the description. That gives me plenty of reach around the terrace without the need to move the pressure washer constantly. I also purchased the Nilfisk Patio cleaner attachment separately, and honestly, if you're cleaning large tiled areas, I would strongly recommend it. The Patio cleaner has a much wider cleaning path than a standard nozzle, sturdy bristles around the edge, and lets you adjust the pressure. Without it, cleaning a large tiled terrace becomes a much slower job. The standard hard nozzle produces a relatively narrow spray pattern. It works well, but on a large patio, you basically have to clean every single centimeter individually. That can take hours. The patio cleaner covers a much larger area and makes the whole process faster, easier, and more consistent. If you want to see exactly which one I use, check the link in the description. Now, something that may surprise some people. I don't use any soap or chemical detergents when cleaning this terrace. The reason is simple. Around the patio, I have several flower beds where I grow plants, herbs, and fruit organically. I don't really want cleaning chemicals running into the soil. So almost all of my cleaning is done using only water pressure. Occasionally, if I have a particularly stubborn stain, I'll use a little baking soda, but that's about it. For general dirt, algae, and surface grime, water alone does a very good job. And honestly, it's quite satisfying watching months of dirt disappear without using chemicals. Let's talk about the actual cleaning performance. For everyday dirt, dust, algae, and weather staining, the Core 150 performs very well. The difference between the cleaned and uncleaned sections is immediately visible. However, there is one type of stain that remains challenging. Under some of my heavier plant pots, I get dark marks on the porcelain tiles. These spots have been there for a long time and can be quite stubborn. The Nilfisk definitely improves them, but in some cases the pressure alone isn't enough to remove them completely. You may need a dedicated cleaner or stronger chemicals if your goal is a perfect restoration. Personally, that doesn't bother me. The pots go back into exactly the same positions after cleaning, so nobody ever sees those marks anyway. For the visible areas of the terrace, the results are excellent. Now let's cover the disadvantages. The biggest one is noise. This machine is not quiet. But honestly, I don't think it's a fair criticism of Nilfisk specifically. Pretty much every pressure washer in this category is noisy. It's simply the nature of high-pressure pumps and electric motors. My solution is very simple. I keep the pressure washer inside the garage while I'm cleaning. The 10-meter hose gives me enough reach, and keeping the machine indoors significantly reduces the noise outside. That way, I don't annoy the neighbors quite as much. Since most people only use a pressure washer occasionally rather than every day, it's not a major issue for me, but it's worth mentioning. A few other features I like. The machine has automatic start and stop functionality, so the motor only runs when you're actually spraying. The metal pump should also provide better durability than cheaper plastic alternatives. The power cable is 5 meter long, which is usually sufficient for most home setups. The click and clean accessory system makes changing attachments very straightforward. And overall, the machine feels solid and well built rather than flimsy. So, would I recommend the Nilfisk Core 150? Yes, especially if your main jobs are patios, terraces, driveways, garden furniture, walls, and general outdoor cleaning. The adjustable pressure is genuinely useful. The 10-meter Ultraflex hose is excellent. It stores neatly, it's easy to move around, and paired with the Patio cleaner attachment, it makes cleaning large tiles areas much more practical. It's not silent, and for the absolute toughest deep set stains, you may still need additional cleaning products. But for normal patio maintenance, I think it's a very capable machine. If you're interested in the Nilfisk Core 150, the Nilfisk Patio brush, or the 15-meter ZFit Life expandable hose that I use, you'll find all the links down in the description. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more useful garden content, and let me know in the comments what pressure washer you're currently using. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.